A short time ago, U.S. Ambassador to the United Nations Nikki Haley was speaking at the UN Security Council. She called out the global body for its treatment of Israel. Watch this.
Over many years, the United Nations has outrageously been of the world's foremost centers of hostility towards Israel. The UN has done much more damage to the prospects for Middle East peace than to advance them. We will not be a party to that. The United States no longer stands by when Israel is unfairly attacked in the United Nations.
For a second day of big news on this, let's bring back Israeli Ambassador to the United Nations, Dannon. You were with me for the press secretary's White House briefing yesterday as that was making news on this as it came up. And now you have these strong words from Nikki Haley as the ambassador at the UN. And I know you spoke moments ago. What is the mood there on this issue?
Harris, we just concluded a Security Council session, another Israel bashing session, except of Ambassador Haley, who stood very strongly protecting the courageous decision of President Trump. We heard a lot of countries condemning the U.S., condemning Israel. We are used to that, not the U.S. But I think Ambassador Haley said exactly the truth. It is about time to change what's happening in the Middle East. And we believe that the decision of the president will actually help the peace process. It is a reality check for the Palestinians. It is a reality check for the nation of the world. All day long condemn Israel. Today, there is a new reality, and we are very grateful for President Trump for engaging with the peace process.
Wow, you said it there very boldly, very plainly. Israeli bashing, an Israeli bashing session after session there at the UN. The criticism right now, I'm sure you're hearing it, Ambassador Dannon, is that President Trump's, the timing of it, I don't know what time could have been better or worse, but the timing of it is inflaming tensions in the Middle East. Tensions are pretty much inflamed most of the time over the issues of can we get to peace, right?
When you look at the history of modern Israel, you always have the issue of timing. When President Truman decided to be the first president to recognize the state of Israel, he was criticized for that. Also, the issue of timing came from different directions. So always you can ask whether it's the right timing or not. We think it is the right time. We think other countries will follow the U.S. And I think today people realize that maybe something will happen when they saw the leadership coming from the U.S. I think the nation will understand that passing resolutions against Israel in the Security Council is not bringing peace to the region. I believe that the approach of the president is the right approach.
How do you take down the violent response at this point? How do you deal with this? Because the streets, you know, that we've had at least one Palestinian killed. Is that something that you think you can do or that the world should step into right now? What makes this better? The left of our screen, we're watching it.
First, we demanded from the members of the Security Council to condemn violence. We cannot allow violence to threaten any political action, any diplomatic action. We should condemn violence. We will not act according to the violence. Our security forces are monitoring the situation, and I am waiting to hear voices coming from other sides, from the Arab world, from the UN, condemning the violence. I haven't heard that yet.
Wow. And they've already had a meeting. And you're at the UN, and you're not hearing the condemnation of that. Vice President Mike Pence is set to come in the next coming days. The president announced that along with recognizing Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and promising to move our U.S. embassy from Tel Aviv to the modern government seat, if you will, of Israel in Jerusalem. So what would you like to hear from Vice President Pence when he gets there a few days from now?
Vice President Pence is a strong friend of Israel. He participated last week on an event we held here in New York, the reenactment of the historical vote for the establishment of Israel. And he said very clearly that he will come to Jerusalem. He will speak in the Israeli parliament, in the Knesset, and we are looking forward to welcome him. We heard that the Palestinians are threatening not to meet the Vice President of the United States. This is part of their approach, not to engage, to boycott. We believe in engagement. We will hug Vice President Pence, and it will be well received by the Israelis.
Does what the president did this week, and we're showing video of him signing this and putting forth the promises that he made on the campaign about recognizing Jerusalem as the capital city, does it damage the peace process the way that some of the Turkish officials are terming it? They're calling it a master catastrophe for the peace process.
It's exactly the contrary. Let's analyze what happened in the last 20 years. So many delegations, so many visits of the Secretary of State, from so many diplomats coming to Jerusalem, nothing is moving forward. I think what we see now, that is the right approach. We have reality check. Let's look at the facts. We know that Jerusalem is the capital of Israel, period. So let's move on. Let's negotiate on the other issues. I think it will help the peace process. And in a few months, we will be optimistic about what's happening in the Middle East. And we will not remember the condemnation that we just heard here in the UN.
Wow. You said Israeli bashing session after session. The only exception was Ambassador Nikki Haley. Ambassador Dannon to Israel, thank you very much. We appreciate your time. Outside the UN
Thank you very
today.
much, Harris. Thank you.